Congratulations, first of all, on the
Thank
award.
you.
What does it mean to be crowned the outstanding manager?
Well, I think any recognition is always nice to receive. For me, probably it's about what the evening means, and what I've been hugely impressed with is for those that have received awards tonight, it's about what they are prepared to give back in. And give back into society, and to give back into local communities, and to give back into African communities, and probably that's the most important thing of the night. But it's always nice to be recognised for the work that you enjoy doing.
You speak about giving back to African communities. I'm sure a lot of people who watch the Premier League won't be aware of your part Irish, part African heritage. Your father, Ghanaian, is that right?
Yes, my father's from Ghana and my mother's from Ireland, and it's fairly sort of topical news at the moment. But both met in England in the 50s, a time when, of course, a lot were coming over from Ireland, a lot were coming over from Africa, and brought up in London, in East London, but certainly always been very proud of my background and both sides of my background.
And that African heritage that you have has, led to you been described as sort of the outstanding black manager in British football for the past decade or so. Is it important to you to carry that around and almost be the standard bearer for black coaching in the country? Well,
it's something that I'm certainly I feel very honoured and proud to do. Is what we do have in our game in England is, of course, is an imbalance for those that are playing, which is a high percentage of black and ethnic players playing, but of course a huge imbalance of those going into management. And what we have seen certainly in recent years and now are great developments at grassroots level and at academy level, under 23 level, but of course that step up into senior football, first team football and jobs in other aspects of our game has been far more difficult. So in any way that I can help persuade, encourage, or be any type of role model for somebody that wants to get into management, then it's something that I'm very proud and honoured to do.
You don't think it was never anything that held you back, the obstacles that were put in your way? Why do you think it has been difficult to redress that balance in sort of the past 10, 15 years, maybe even 25 years?
Yeah, well, I think more than that. I mean, my circumstances were different, and my pathway was different. I left Tottenham Hotspur as a player, went back as a coach, and it still happens today, but certainly in them days it happened a lot more. That when a manager got a job, generally took somebody with him that he knew, somebody he knew, he could trust, he worked with, and I went back to Tottenham as a coach under Ossie Ardiles and stayed there as a coach for 14 and a half years before I went into management. So my pathway was different, but there are a lot of ex players, black and ethnic ex-players that have found that pathway a lot more difficult. And I think there are lots of reasons for that. I think certainly going back to when I played, there was always an unfair perception that black and ethnic players were quick, good wingers, but not really captain material or management material, and sometimes those perceptions stick for far longer than what they should do, and of course in our game there's always been, as I spoke about, managers getting jobs and taking those with them that they know and trust, and so I think that has helped, redressing the balance that I spoke about. I think that hasn't helped that. What we have seen, of course, in recent years and implemented in the Football League is a form of Rooney Rule, which is something in whichever way, something that I would encourage, because what you want to see black and ethnic coaches doing is at least getting opportunities. Nobody's going to give anybody a job on the strength of their colour, but just opportunities.
Do you think sometimes players fall into those own stereotypes about themselves and their ethnicities, even in this day and age? Do you, as a coach and as an educator, do you have to rid these players of their own perceptions of themselves to get the best out of them?
To a degree, I think that there are definitely, because I've spoken to lots of ex-players that would have thought about going into coaching and taking their badges, but they just didn't see the opportunities. They didn't feel that they would get the opportunities. They didn't feel it would be a pathway for them because of what they see. So I suppose in some ways that that would be a form of that, and of course what the game needs to show, and I think there are signs of that. Our stakeholders need to encourage in whichever way that we can those that would look to go into another direction of staying in the game, taking their badges, and hopefully getting opportunities.
Taking Brighton up with the points total that they had in the Championship last season, congratulations on that achievement, and nearly there. Yes. In the Premier League this season. What do you think has been behind the rise of Brighton, getting them into this league for the first time, and obviously your own personal success derived from a squad who have played plenty of Championship football, it's fair to say?
Yes, well, last season seems a long time ago now with the way that our game goes, but I think probably two things. One, I think when I went into the club, I was very definite about a way that I wanted to play and what I wanted from the team. But at that time, what we had to do is we had to recruit well, and when I first went in, which was in January, the priority was the team was in the bottom three, was just to make sure that we stayed in the league. But I think we recruited really well in the summer, and we not only brought in what I regarded as good players, we brought in good individuals as well, and I think that gave us something to build on. That gave us a platform to build on, and one thing you'll see, it's probably the best example this season is Burnley, where you've seen where they started and the confidence that they have now had, and that is because of the stability that they've got there, the fact that they're comfortable in the division and they're winning games, and players are playing at a better level than they have done. And I think we've managed to do something like that at Brighton, but certainly we've recruited well, I think, in every window. Probably the biggest plus for the group of players that we had was that we missed out on promotion in my first full season, and sometimes that can knock a squad. Well, I think it made them stronger, and I think the way they've adapted to the Premier League, I think, has been outstanding for them.
Okay, thanks very much, Chris, and again, congratulations on a richly deserved award.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.